Well, South Africa is requesting that the world's top court, the International Court of Justice, move urgently to end Israel's offence in Gaza. Statements made by Israel's Prime Minister and President were cited by South African lawyers as evidence of genocide. Well, joining me now live is Alex Ryvchin, the co-CEO of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. It's good to have you on the program, Alex. Thanks very much for your time. So the South African prosecutors have cited examples of Benjamin Netanyahu and other Israeli officials explicitly saying that they want to remove Palestinians from the region. They say that it is starving the population and denying Gazans of the basics. I want to put to you, how do you, is there a belief that this could be, there could be some merit in this argument, or how isn't this evidence of genocidal intent?
Well, the South African case relies on several statements made by the Israeli Prime Minister and other Israeli politicians in the immediate aftermath of the Hamas atrocities of October 7. And when taken out of context, those statements are bellicose. They're aggressive, angry statements reflecting the mood of the country after such horrors were inflicted upon its people. But Israel has maintained categorically and unequivocally and consistently that it has no intention whatsoever of harming Palestinian civilians, that it has no intention of depopulating Gaza of its Palestinian population. It has no intention to reoccupy the territory whatsoever. This is purely a political measure initiated by Hamas's allies in the international community, notably South Africa, along with Iran and Turkey. And its aim is to provide political cover for Hamas at a time when its infrastructure, its leadership is teetering. It's on the brink of collapse in response to Israeli forces and the invasion of Gaza after the October 7 attacks. What was
how is it political cover, though, when there is evidence of Israeli forces bombing places such as health centres, refugee camps?
Well, Israel is bombing where it needs to take out Hamas fighters and Hamas infrastructure. But the measures that it has gone to limit civilian suffering are virtually unprecedented. It is literally telling the Palestinians and telling Hamas which neighbourhoods, which parts of Gaza it intends to strike in order to allow civilians to leave and to minimise the displacement and the toll on the civilian population. But when you have a terrorist force, genocidal in character, which seeks unequivocally to destroy the state of Israel and to kill every Jew within its population, and it is embedded within the civilian population, it fights from tunnels, it commits ambushes, it stores its weapons in its command centres in hospitals and schools and apartments, and we've seen ample evidence of this. You will have a civilian toll. It's unavoidable. But the way to end the civilian suffering, and there is only one path to this, is for Hamas to surrender, to lay down its arms, and to release more than 130 hostages which remain in its brutal, unlawful captivity.
So in terms of this case, though, DFAT has said it respects the international ICJ process, and now the government's sort of facing pressure from Australian senators such as David Pocock to support this case. David Pocock has said that he's strongly supportive of the need for a credible and robust examination of Israel's conduct under the Genocide Convention. What's your reaction to the stance from Senator Pocock?
Well, I think it's deeply unfortunate. I sympathise with where the senator's coming from. I have no doubt that his primary concern is to minimise civilian suffering, but he is unwittingly, I believe, lending his good name and his good office to extremist forces, those who don't seek peace, who merely want to prop up the terror regime that has enslaved the Palestinian population in the name of the destruction of Israel and the Jewish people. What Senator Pocock should be doing in his concern for civilian life is calling immediately and unequivocally and consistently for the surrender of Hamas and for the release of 130 hostages. That is the way this war will end immediately, and that is the way the civilian toll and the suffering on both sides can be brought to an end.
Just quickly, Alex, have you or the jury made any representations to the government following this statement from Senator Pocock?
We have not. We will be reaching out to Senator Pocock directly to make our views known to him and to respectfully make our case to him as to why we oppose the ICJ action and why we oppose his particular remarks. But the government has not said that it's supporting this ICJ action brought by South Africa and its allies in the international community who are supportive of Hamas. The United States has made absolutely clear that this claim is baseless and political in nature, and we expect the Australian government to be consistent with that.
Alex Ryvchin from the Australian Jewry, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.